Thanks for tuning in again, everybody. We're back with your favorite podcast, Luca's Tigers and Bronze. Oh my. Luca Nation, Luca's Tigers and Bronze. Oh my. We are back. It is a Saturday episode. And I got to tell you guys, if I'm being honest with you, I'm not one that's in touch with my feelings the way that my co-host here is. It's been a stressful week. It's been a tiring week. It's been an interesting week, right? There's a lot of stuff going on. We basically as a country have our pants pulled down for the world to take a look at right now, no matter which way you want to take it. Whether you're declaring a victory or a loss here, the world is watching us and will be probably for the next couple of months. We have an interesting road ahead of us here. Anybody who remembers the 2000 election and the almost 40 days it took to decide the hanging Chad dilemma for 3 counties in Florida, you can only expect what it's going to take when there are still 7 states still left to be decided, all within the margin of error, basically, on voting. It's an interesting thing, but I bring all that up for one reason.
I thought Hanging Chad was from Entourage when Aquaman was released, and they were going for that record 116 million opening, and the Hanging Chad was when all the power outages were going out across the valley.
Yes, they called it a Hanging Chad, but you know what?
Why do they hate the valley so much? I've never been there.
I have no idea, but they really did. They really do in Hollywood. They would kind of rip on it. But the Hanging Chad in the Entourage was a reference to the 2000 election. The Chad was an actual physical piece of perforation, basically, that was supposed to be punched in the ballot. And if it wasn't punched fully, it was kind of hanging there. It's called a Hanging Chad. Those ballots were either counted or not counted based on how those things were dimpled. So that's
being the person deciding that. Wow.
Oh, and there are, and it really was. And then it became a Supreme Court thing. And the Hanging Chad this time around is things like Sharpies, things like not being able to watch it, not being able to have access to the polling place, this software glitch that people are talking about. But I did not want to get into it. I wanted to do my 1 minute, my fun on this, because I want to say that I'm not going to talk about it again. You guys are coming here. If you want to get election news and you want to talk about the election and all that other fun stuff, you can get that anywhere. There are a million news outlets. All of them are going to give you one side of the story, but you're not going to.
If you're like me, yep. I only follow one, and that's CNN. I just listen to them blindly. I hope you guys do as well.
And I follow a station called One America Newsmax. It's the only one that seems to be a little impartial presently at this time. Not Fox News, not any of these other mainstream medias, stuff like that. But again, we are going to talk to you about cards, man. I mean, we got NBA coming before you know it, right around the corner. We have new products releasing all the time. We got fun stuff. A lot of people used it as a distraction during COVID, and I have a feeling we're going to see a lot of the same people use it as a distraction during this, what are we going to call it? Craziness? We're going to call it, sideshow. We're going to call it circus, whatever the hell you want to call it.
Something I'm monitoring, straight up, I'm monitoring this because I don't want to be caught off guard again, is London just went on a lockdown. Germany's went on a lockdown. France has gone on a lockdown. The current party that was elected, that's always actually interesting. Who makes decisions right now? It's got to be the Republicans, right? But I don't know. You'll chime in here. But what happens if we go into another lockdown? How does that affect sports? Probably not as much, right? Because they're prepped for it. They've done it once before, but it's certainly something that's worth monitoring.
Yeah, I mean, listen, the numbers are different by state. I don't foresee a federal lockdown. I don't think there are states that would accept that and allow it. It's going to definitely be interesting. I don't think a state like Texas would allow the federal government to call for a lockdown.
When you say that, elaborate. Why does the state get the decision?
Because we are a federalist country. We are a country that has states' rights, right? So just like you're seeing now in the NFL, you're seeing certain stadiums have fans in them, but certain don't, because the states are able to make their own rules. The states are able to decide. As a matter of fact, you could say that CNN called the election today because of states' rights. Pennsylvania has a Democratic governor, a Democratic attorney general who decided that they were just going to make a new rule about election counting and allow ballots to be counted for 3 days after the election. That was never the rule before. It was never the rule ever.
It was my ballot. I flew
your ballot
from Mexico. just to get it in time. I got it in last night at like 7 p.m.
And it is going to be one of the things that the Supreme Court gets to weigh in on. They already have, and said that the state needs to sequester ballots that came in after Election Day and count those separately. I don't think Pennsylvania did that. But their attorney general has been on Twitter basically for, days before the election saying there's no way Trump can win. And now you see.
Let me put a bow on this real quick.
Sure, please.
Because I've thought about this a lot. We're a podcast. We're a daily podcast.
Yep.
Should we cover what's going on in news, media, elections?
Well, only to the extent that it has an impact, right?
Well, one sec.
Yeah.
And it wasn't our decision to intertwine politics and sports. Sports decided that in 2020 that it would be political. That was their decision. And as a result, the card market responded. And it's our responsibility to cover that. Frankly, it is our responsibility to cover that. So,
listen, you're going to see my pick today is going to tell you this is nothing new. Sports and politics have been intertwined for
more or less
ever,
not as much.
But now, the leagues have taken on almost a social justice message to some extent as well. So I understand exactly what you're saying. The point that I was trying to make is that we are a federalist society, right? And Pennsylvania was able to make these rules that are going to impact the election. It would not have been called today for Mr. Biden if not for Pennsylvania calling, or the media calling Pennsylvania for him. Pennsylvania still has not certified any votes. No states have. But the reason they were able to continue counting votes and have a 700,000 vote Trump lead dwindled down to now a 20 or 30,000 vote Biden lead is because they counted for 3 more days, which was a new rule that just was done by the state. So, and you see those rules for counting and you name it, they're done by the states. The same thing would happen, I believe, if the federal government tried to say we're going to go on a countrywide lockdown. I think there are some states that would really push back on that.
Let me throw something. Let me throw something your way.
Yeah, please.
It's a theory.
Yeah.
LeBron, 2024. I apologize. Do you see it?
What, presidential run? No. I mean, he may run. He may run. Anyone can run now, right? If you would have said 8 years ago Trump's going to run when he was doing The Apprentice, people would be like, yeah, ha, funny.
Who's more qualified? Who is more qualified, dude? This dude, qualified in contemporary
than LeBron?
terms.
I mean, look, he is the GOAT. He's the greatest basketball player to ever put on shoes. So, I mean, clearly it qualifies him to be president. I'm with you.
Dude, he builds schools. He does a lot of social stuff. He's opened a production company. He's a businessman. And it's really interesting. LeBron is very polarizing as well, man. LeBron is very polarizing. People either hate or love him.
I think there's only one person potentially who could run against LeBron and beat him, if we're being honest. And that's Michael Jordan. And that's who I would back. I would back Michael Jordan against LeBron. But if Jordan decides not to run for president, then, I mean, clearly LeBron would have to have my vote. Although Kanye ran, and I think he would probably run again, and that would probably be an interesting Kanye versus LeBron presidential race. I will, of course, be living in Lithuania.
You're coming to live in Mexico.
So listen.
Do you have anything top of mind, or you want to get into your sports card play?
No, I mean, listen, I think we just went over what's top of mind on this stuff. And, I really just want to kind of go through it because I know a lot of people are thinking about it. And, you don't tune to us for election stuff. You tune to us for cards. So top of mind on cards, right? There's so much stuff going on. I opened some stuff yesterday. I did some on live. I really am not impressed with Topps update. I don't think I'm going to be buying it anymore after opening one jumbo box and one hobby box. I will tell you, we got a really cool auto out of the jumbo box. That's the only one that guarantees an auto. The regular box, I didn't get an autograph at, which is just really horrible. Topps put a $100 box together on it, and I can't even get like a garbage auto. I get like a fully white, relic of like Tim Lincecum or some garbage. I mean, it's just crappy. But look, it is what it is. I open up these boxes. I'll tell you what I'm fed up with. Topps puts these SPs and SSPs in there, super SPs. They're like photo variations and stuff. I'm sure I've thrown a dozen of these in the garbage because they don't delineate them. There's not like there's like a different number on the back, like a barcode number kind of thing, like really small, where if you don't have a magnifying glass out to look at the back of every card, you can't tell. And I don't even want to look for it. It's just annoying. Number it if you have to do it. Or put something on the front of it. I mean, do something. don't just put out these random SPs and SSPs of guys that you wouldn't even think would have to have an SP card. It's just silly, and I'm sure, like I said, I'm not going through it. I'm sure the card is in my garbage right now. Not to mention, just for anybody else who's thinking about buying update, besides the Randy Arozarena card in the in his Tampa Bay uniform, there are no good rookies. There are no good new cards in there, and that prospect set, which I was high on, it has a black back. It's like a black and pink back, so the borders are black. And I've opened 2 new boxes. These are not things that have been shipped. They're not in multiple plastics. They're not in cards that are that have been bounced around on eBay. The corners are almost, they're going to be impossible to grade. They come out all damaged and dinged. So just be careful if you're buying bulk of those on eBay, thinking I'm gonna get a bunch of PSA 10s because they're brand new. Those prospect cards like the Wander Franco and the guys in that set, most of them are going to be they're going to be banged up. I got a bunch of them banged up.
Cage just skimmed right over it, but that's actually going to be my play of the day. And listen, guys, I brought you plays that are strategies that you could apply to different players. I brought you types of cards to buy. Today, I'm giving you a player to look out for, Wander Franco. But I need to know from you, Cage.
Yeah.
What card would you recommend buying?
So right now, he doesn't have a Topps card. Next year at some point, I'm sure he'll get in and he'll play and he'll have a Topps rookie card, paper, chrome, you name it. If you're buying a card of his now, I actually kind of like the prospect one that I just talked about, but you got to be real careful with it because it's, it's going to be condition sensitive. So be careful. I like it because it's his first Topps card, even though it's not the RC Shield. But if you're buying Wander Franco cards, you got to go back to his Bowman, the first Bowman card. It's a really cool Bowman chrome card. We got a boatload of them in our first Luca Nation sub that just wrapped up. Start sending them in for sub number 2, guys. But yeah, a lot of people obviously are high on him. And I remember that card was easy. I was selling them when I was breaking those things, $7, $8 for the raw. And the PSA 10 was like, $35, $40. I gave it as a play this year and it has gone up significantly. That Bowman Chrome, the first Bowman Chrome of his. But what's cool is everybody knew as a prospect, there's a lot of variations. You can get the atomic one, you get the sparkle one, you can get autographs of him. They're still relatively cheap. But that first Bowman is the one to go with for him.
So because the Topps prospect, it's their first year, right? That they're doing this?
Yep.
It's hard to have a track record that like, hey, this is gonna sell well, it's gonna have demand. I'm theorizing, I'm hypothesizing that it will. I think what's cool about that card is you also have time to grade it, right? You can throw it in a 45-day sub, and you'll get it back by opening day. He's going to be on the opening day roster more or less, right?
Yep.
Or if there's a chance.
Maybe. We'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see how they figure out this year's time against the collective bar. I mean,
do you think they're going to do another Gavin Lux with him next year?
They might. Depends on this season's weird. You don't know how it's going to count against their time and how long they have him under control. He's a young guy. Basically, I'm sure Tampa will do whatever they need to do, keeping him down to maintain an extra year, whether that's keeping him down to July. It depends, like I said, how this year counts. It's gonna be interesting. But whatever they need to do to keep him down to maintain another year of control on him, they will. A lot of times that means not bringing somebody up until the middle of the season.
So the Topps, it's kind of a cool card, by the way, the prospect card. It's like light blue. It's kind of classic in nature and the way it looks. I really like it. Kind of reminds me of, is it Mark McGwire, the card? Like it has this real classic look to it. And it's selling for about $10. Now, here's something interesting. In the dead of winter, will that card sell for $5? Probably. Can you get it now for 10? Yeah. So you could play it 2 ways. You could wait a little bit and get that card for 50% off, really. It's going to be a $4, $5, $6, $7 card, I imagine, in the dead of winter. But if you get it now, it just ripped. It's fresh ripped. You're going to be able to get the best ones, like I mentioned to you before. When there's a fresh rip, that's the best chance to buy these cards. You could buy them for $10. You could throw them in a 45-day. You're in them for $20, $25. And I think regardless of what happens, that's a $50, $60, $70 PSA 10. And it has a ton of upside and a ton of ways to go. So I think that's a cool play. It's not a big one. You could buy maybe 1 or 2 of these too, right? Like it's not always about breaking the bank. It's about just having a horse in the race. And I think this is a good horse to have in the race that's been out of sight, out of mind. And I think it's also a cool way to play a new release, a new product that I personally think will have demand. It's up to you to base your opinion off of it, though.
Listen, I like it. They've used that design. 2020 Topps has the throwback. It was, instead of a prospect, it was called the first draft pick. Chipper Jones had one in this year's set, and it basically it goes back to the like I said, there's a 2020 Topps like Throwback Thursday they did already in 1989 Topps. This is what the set was, and if you go back to 89 Topps, white border. There were guys in that set like Steve Avery, who was a big pitching prospect, Robin Ventura, who you might have heard of. Jim Abbott was in it. There were a lot of really cool cards. Jim Abbott was a pitcher with the Yankees, threw a no-hitter. It's the 89 Topps set. It is an iconic looking card. It was what they used for the number one draft pick. I think Olsen was in it, Andy Benes. There was a whole bunch of guys in there. It's weird because I remember it because 89 Topps that year was one of the few mainstream sets that didn't have a Griffey rookie in it. You had to wait for the Topps traded, but it's the same design as like if you look at Griffey's top traded card. Instead, the rookies in that set were these number one draft picks. So yeah, I mean, it's one that you can get now. It's going to be clean. There'll be there'll be a bunch of them, and it might be $5. Who knows? But you're right to latch on to this because 5 years from now, when he's what looks like maybe the next Mike Trout, and people are looking for what's his rookie card. Well, maybe it's this one from 2021 with the RC Shield on it, but he did have that 2020 Topps card that says number one prospect on it. And, I think you're right. I think there's going to be some demand for it. So
let me give you like a 201 version of something that I think about. Maybe even 301. Let's say you get this card for $12. You buy 5 of them. 3 of them gem, 2 turn into PSA 9s. But you're sitting here thinking, I'm a believer in the Topps Shield product. That's who I am. That's the kind of investor I am. You take your investment, you sell it, and roll it into a card that you believe in of that same player.
Yep.
And basically you were able to buy that card for $12, $24, $36, right?
Yep.
Because your original investment was just the raw card plus the grading. So it's something to think about. You could believe in a player. That Topps Shield isn't available yet. Let me start the investment here, flip it, and roll my money into a product, a set, so to speak, that I believe in.
I like it. It'll work. Okay, guys, so here's my play on a Saturday. I don't know, we've had – yesterday was one of our top listened days. Love the question and answer stuff. You guys, you start sending us answers, start sending us questions now. I mean, go for it because we love that. That's one of the most fun episodes for me, and we really did have a a great response from you guys. So thank you for that. What I will tell you is I have one for you today that I hope you guys listen to this and just jump right off and get on eBay and take advantage of this because they're going to disappear soon. So a lot of people don't know this, and maybe it's an advantage of having an old man like myself on the podcast, right? 2008, the Topps company made a baseball set like they do every year. And my pick today is from the 2008 Topps set. Inserted 1 in 9 packs were a special. So do you know what 2008 was? So let's just count back, right? So 2020.
I graduated high school.
You graduated high school. Big year, right? So was there anything crazy in the yearbook in 2008? I know people who graduated in 2012 had something crazy in the yearbook.
Recession.
I know somebody who graduated in 2016. Barack Obama. In 2008, Barack Obama was a big deal. Do you remember who his vice president was?
Are you going back to politics?
Do you remember who his vice president was?
Every time I try to leave, they pull me back in.
But Topps remembered that 2008 was a big year for an election, too. And 1 in 9 packs, they had, I believe it was a 50 or 55 card subset called the 2008.
I would buy a Michelle Obama card right now.
2008 election set. And there was what I'm going to consider his Topps rookie card, Joe Biden. And you can go on eBay right now, folks.
You're insane.
Go right on eBay right now, and for $2, $3,
there's something wrong with you.
You can buy a Joe Biden rookie card, 2008 Topps Joe Biden. And if you're really feeling saucy, there's a gold version that was inserted, pretty rare. Now, the gold was not for everyone. I mean, Arnold Schwarzenegger was in the set, believe it or not, if you go back that far, but he didn't have a gold card. But yes, folks, I am telling you, because when all the votes are in and you have a new president, Joe Biden, somebody's going to look back and say, I got Joe Biden's rookie card. I got his first Topps card, 2008, the election set. And you can buy it right now before everybody else is onto this, because your good friend Cage here is putting you onto this one and reminding you about the 2008 Topps election set. A couple bucks. Give me a break. Go ahead and risk it. A couple dollars, low risk, high reward. Maybe you grab one that's in good condition. Maybe you get a PSA 10 Joe Biden 2008 Topps rookie. You never know. And maybe that could be something sought after. Maybe he's a two-term president.
PSA's in California.
Yeah.
They're more than likely going to love seeing that card.
Yep. And as a matter of fact, from what I'm hearing, most of the cards that are available on eBay right now would only be like 7s or 8s. But when it's a Biden card, the number is going to be higher. They're potentially going to grade it higher than what the real number is. So expect to get 9s and 10s, even when you should get a 7 or 8, folks. That's my play for you today. No baloney. If you go on right now, 2008, you put in 2008 Topps, Joe Biden. It's cool. It looks just like the 2008. I think Kershaw had a rookie that year, right? So it's the cool white border, but there is a gold version. Check it out. I'm telling you, a couple bucks, you will not be disappointed, because you can buy this raw when this election stuff is over next year. You're going to have the president's rookie card. You're going to have the president's Topps rookie card. And you only spend a couple bucks for it.
Only thing, guys. Make sure to mail it in to PSA. Don't hand deliver it. Don't use one of the subs that bring it right
That's
there.
That's right, guys. Don't hand deliver these things. You got to mail this in. It's got to be a mail-in sub, folks. Okay? So there's my play for today, everybody. I hope this provides a little bit of levity, but don't think my play is a joke, because it is not. This is a card that nobody knows about, nobody's looking for, and you, our faithful Lucas, Tigers, and Bronze listeners, will get this on a Saturday night, the same night that CNN, which is the network that decides all of the elections, they are the official election governing body, has decided that Biden is the president. You can get the president's 2008 Topps rookie card for peanuts. Go find it, guys.
You guys want to have a fun read?
Yeah.
Google Jeff Bezos buying CNN. Very interesting thread. A lot of interesting information there.
And it gets you to the Washington Post, right?
He does own that Washington Post. And who controls the country? Whoever controls the media. Signed off, AG.
There you go, Attorney General. I like it. Luga Nation, no baloney. I'm actually serious about this pick. I'm going to start buying them myself. I'm giving you a little bit of window to buy these things. So go ahead and jump on 2008 Topps election, Joe Biden.
Luga Nation, guys. I'm going to side with you here. Only if you post photos of you buying the cards, we'll believe you. No pic.
That's right. You have to have, as a matter of fact, what we would love is send us a picture of somebody watching you buy the card. And they have to be within 6 feet. Otherwise, it doesn't count. Take care, Luga Nation.
Dude, I'm really excited. The Colts play the Ravens tomorrow, and that's going to be an interesting game for you to talk about. It's a really interesting.
We'll do some research tonight. The Ravens are back against the wall. So,
are you still doing the preview?
Yeah, of course.
I could take over. I could take over the reins.
You should definitely give your picks, and I can take pot shots at the. No, I'm going to come back. We're going to have a big week tomorrow. What do you think of my pick?
That was hilarious.
Having some fun. All right, we'll talk later. Thank you for spending some time with us on another episode of the Lucas, Tigers, and Bronze Oh My podcast. Do us a favor and like, subscribe. You know what? Don't just like and subscribe. Everybody does that. If you like us, tell your friends, tell your neighbors, tell your enemies, tell everybody. And we hope you got something from spending some time with us today, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.